Hello and welcome to a new episode. Wait, didn't we play this already? Of Doom! Wait, I'm pretty sure we've played this already. Oh, it's a dildo party now. Alright. This is where we left off. Alright. Hello and welcome back. It's been a while. Well, at least for me it seems, because from the last time I recorded, a lot of things have changed. For example, I am now living in a new place. Whoa, holy shit. Holy shit balls. And, yeah. But everything is cool. The house is very cool, I think, at least. My roommate doesn't think so, but she is cool. We spend a lot of evenings together and watching Big Bang Theory. I've never watched it before. Might seem strange that I'm kind of a computer nerd. Well, I don't consider myself a nerd. I don't know, I think nerds are like socially awkward people, and I don't consider myself being socially awkward. In fact, I'm pretty much a party boy. Is that a word? Anyway. Anyway, I don't know, I don't have any problems like getting to know new people and stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I don't consider myself a nerd. I know about computers, but that doesn't really necessarily make me a nerd, does it? I don't think so. Anyway, so yeah, how are you guys? I've missed you. It's kind of strange being like able to talk again and stuff. Holy shit, there's a lot of guys. Hello. Sausage party much? Fuck you, but bastards. Fuck you, and you too. Fuck you all. Hello, fuck you. And you too. Holy shit. Fuck off. Hey, wasn't that a lag? Die! Hello? He's fucking crazy. Whew. Alright. Happy jiggling boobies. Yeah. Why always male genitalia when we can have breasts? What? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyway, so yeah, I'm well, I'm fine, everything is cool. Hope you're well as well. What? So what's been going on lately? I have finally stopped worrying about everything that's going on in my life, because I finally found like a kind of, you know, when you're like leaving a lot of stuff behind and you're like hanging in the middle of nowhere and with your mind. You know what I mean? Am I crazy? You know, when you're like, I don't know, when you're moving to a new place and you kind of don't know where life's going for you in the next time and stuff, then you're kind of getting in a weird state of mind where your mind is kind of restless and you're always thinking about how you have to live under a bridge in the next couple of weeks and stuff. So this is basically over now, and I can focus on more important stuff, for example my game! And I have recently added new cool features to the game, which are kind of necessary I guess, but they're cool anyways! For example, you can now shoot and reload your pistol! Oh yeah! Spoiler, there's a pistol in the game. Die, monster! No! You don't belong in this world! And yeah, I have finally made my first animations. And they are kind of cool! Yay! I don't know. I like my animations. Of course, they are not like the best thing you will ever see in your life. I know that, but I don't know. Some people have kind of high expectations. It's my very first game, my very first 3D game, and I think for my very first 3D game, the results that I have currently are very cool. But yeah, it's not a Call of Duty, you know, because in case you don't know, games like Call of Duty have like, I don't know, hundreds of people working on them, and they're all paid like top billing, so I'm just one dude and I get paid nothing, so yeah. But you know, the thing is that I think talking time is kind of over with my game. I want to show you the game, and I'm kind of getting close because I didn't expect that too much, but I just didn't. What? No shit. Fuck. I wasn't just in the right piss. I wasn't in the right state of mind for working on the game because I had so much stuff going on in my life, and I had to, you know, I was moving, and now I have kind of settled in a bit, and now I have to move again, so it's kind of a little bit restless currently, but in a good way, you know. I'm not afraid of like being out in the forest or something because I don't find any place to live or something like that, so I can like calm down a bit and focus on something else again. I've talked about that before. Anyway, yeah, so I was working on the game and I am kind of getting there, but not quite yet, so the prototype has to wait a bit longer. I'm sorry for that. You have to wait for the prototype a bit longer. But in the meantime, I can add more awesomeness to the game, and in the end you will unlove it?
Help me, you piece of shit.
Alright. Wait, I'm pretty sure this goes down somehow, and I can shoot this and stuff. Shut up! I said shut up! He wasn't helping anyway. So, how do I get here? Oh yeah, I forgot, kind of. So yeah, the latest thing I've added to the game is like the reload animation for the pistol. And I like it. And what else? Now, the only things that are missing currently are some kind of a test level that you can just run through and monsters spawn and you can just kill them. Which brings me to the second thing that's missing: monsters. Because I'm currently going down like steps of tutorials, and the next tutorials that are coming up are for monster AI, which are basically emulating the exact behavior that you have with Doom monsters. They just kind of rumble? No, they like kind of walk around like idiots until you get in the room, and then they see you, and then they follow you. They get in a kind of chase mode and stuff. So I really want to keep it basically like Doom, the gameplay, and having Doom-like monster behavior in the game helps very much. God damn it! I can't talk. Why doesn't on these? I have to somehow get them down, these bars, but I don't know. I don't know how. So yeah, monsters, a kind of test level, and then that's it. And then I will release the prototype, and you can all look at it in awe. No, really. I hope that people like the prototype, but I can see how people might judge it a bit harshly, but you know, it's my very first prototype for the very first 3D game that I'm making, and a lot of things can change, and this is something that I have to make clear from the beginning, that nothing is set in stone for this game. Like, if you see a model that's ugly, or if you see an animation that's kind of doesn't look as real as you have hoped, or something like that, please keep in mind that everything can be changed later on. So at first, you know, I have to make sure that everything's working and the game is fun, and after that I can polish the game as much as I want. But at first I want to make the game into a state where I can say, okay, this is good enough for people to play and actually pay money for. And after that state, I can polish as much as possible and add features left and right and everything. For example, one thing that is a good example, I think. So the game has different weapons, of course, obviously, but well, not that obviously again, because recently a lot of games come out that have like 2 weapons. That's it, and you're like, where are the weapons? And the game's like, nowhere. That's it, bitch. And I'm like, fuck you, game. I want fucking Doom had more weapons than you, game. Game, you're making something wrong. So I don't want to have the same problem, so I will have multiple weapons. But as I've said, Prototype has only, I think, only the pistol, maybe the second gun as well, which will be a rifle. The third one will be a shotgun, obviously. So I want to keep it like kind of Doom-ish, but I will change a bit a piece of things. Anyway, I'm rambling. So my example that I wanted to tell you. So the game has different weapons, and every weapon has mods. Like you can, like kind of in, what's a good example for that? I don't know, like kind of like when you have, no, fuck. Holy shit. I'm not sure what's a good example. Kind of like in Diablo with the runes, where you can like put a rune in a thing and then you have like extra abilities or something like that. This is kind of like this. For example, you get a ice rune and you put it in your pistol and then you can shoot ice bolts or something like that. So you have mods for every weapon, and at first these will only be like statistics. So you put a mod inside a weapon and then you have the ability or the bonus, whatever it gives you. But later, when the prototype is finished and the game is progressing, I want the mods to be represented visually on your weapon. So when you place like a new barrel on your weapon, then you can actually see a new barrel on your gun when you're holding it in front of you. But at the beginning, but this, you know, this is a very time-consuming undertaking. For example, if I have only one weapon, and every weapon has 5 mod slots, and every mod slot has maybe 10 different models that you can exchange, or like, let's keep it simple, let's make 5. So that's already 25 different models that I have to create just for one weapon. So this is like the time consuming that I mean that I don't want to avoid at the beginning, because if I would spend all the time to create all the models, I don't have time to spend on something else that is much more important for the gameplay. You know, you don't really need a visual representation of your mods for the gameplay, but it's a very nice feature and I definitely want that in my game. But at the beginning I can't just do that because I don't have the time, because I have to spend it on much more important things for the gameplay. So this is just an example for you guys to understand what I'm doing here. It's very time consuming and very hard. For example, the reload animation for the pistol took me about half a day. And creating the sound effects and synchronizing the sound effects to the animation was another half a day. So I've spent one whole day on the pistol reload. And if you see it in the game, you're just thinking like, what the fuck, what's taking so long on this simple animation and the simple sounds and everything. But you know, I had to code the time synchronizing thing, whatever, because I want the game to be as professional as possible. Because for example, if you reload a gun, there's 3 different sound effects. For example, if I shoot the shotgun and you listen to the sounds, open, insert, close, you know. And in Doom they already started with this, but in the beginning of computer games like Half-Life and Half-Life 2 and stuff, they had just one sound effect for the whole reload animation. I don't think Half-Life 2 had that still, but well, the first games, like, I don't know, Duke Nukem 3D and stuff. They had like one sound effect and they just synchronized the sound effect itself with pauses inside to have it synced to the animation. And that's kind of like the noob way to do it. So I had to code a way how the game checks for where the animation is currently, and if the animation is at whatever time, then sound effect X is played, and then sound effect Y, and then sound effect Z is played and stuff. So I had to code all that and get it right and create all the sound effects and put the animation in and all that. And yeah, it's kind of time consuming, so I apologize that the game's taking a bit longer, but I don't know, I think it's going in the right direction, and I don't feel like I'm doing a lot of things that I have to redo later. But currently I think the reload animation is fine, because I've played a lot of games, and I don't think it's much worse than reload animations I've seen in you know, AAA titles. But that's just me, and yeah. And also the reason why I'm making this synchronized sound effect system inside the game for having like sounds sync to the animation and not like have the sound with pauses inside and stuff is because I want to have like kind of mods, for example, that decrease the reload time in the game, so I don't have to redo the sound effect for every reload timing that I create and stuff. I don't know if I make sense anymore. Anyway, I have some questions from you guys, and I thank you guys for your questions. And if you have more questions, then please feel free to ask at any time, in any direction, in any dimension, whatever. So, first question is from Nero Katsuna, and he's asking, is everything at Dad? Yes. That's not what he asked. Is there something you learned in life that you wish you had learned in school? And that's kind of a quite interesting question, I think. And the thing I would have liked to learn in school, which I learned later, is that almost everything that you learn in school is kind of rubbish. And what I mean by that is that, you know, when you read something in a school book, you kind of take it for granted. But the thing is that what you don't know as a kid, everything that is in school books is subject to change. For example, let's take astrology. NASA, whatever. Just recently, I think about 1 year ago, they released a statement which kind of contradicts everything they've ever said before, because as you probably think, and I have thought for about all my life, is that Earth is like the only planet in like the whole universe that has the exact conditions that are necessary to create like organic life forms and stuff. And recently, like 1 year ago, they said basically, well, there are millions and billions of planets just even outside of our view. Like in our very current neighborhood are millions of other planets that are in the exact same good conditions to create organic life. So basically what they say is that space is filled with life forms on all kinds of different planets, and basically that aliens are more than just a probability, they are a certainty. And this is kind of like the kind of understatement of the century or something. And basically this goes for everything that's out there in any kind of field of science, really. And this is basically kind of making school redundant, because why do you have to learn something that kind of gets ridiculed like years later? It's stupid. And for that, I can only say that I kind of hate school in general, and I think it's unnecessary. And if you want to learn something that's interesting for you, then why don't you just learn that? For example, I was very interested in English, and I've learned it through The Simpsons. It's kind of silly and stupid, but yeah, that's exactly what I did. In school, I didn't really learn that much, and I didn't think about why English would be such a amazing feat to learn for me personally. But Then I started playing computer games, and computer games kind of, well, in Germany, a lot of computer games are synchronized, but localized, I should say. I'm sorry. But they are very poorly localized. And, you know, playing something in the original language or hearing something in the original language, for example, the original... Where do I have to go? I'm sorry, guys. For example, the original Simpsons dudes who synchronize all the shit, they are amazing. They're talented actors and stuff, and it's a lot more fun to listen to those guys instead of the German guys. I mean, the German localization is still very good, and they are doing a very... I think I have to go here. Why didn't I... Don't I have to... Wait. This is already the exit, right? What the fuck? This has to be a secret. No? What? Stupid. So yeah, I would say that school should be totally abolished, and instead you should be free to learn whatever you want. Because I think if people are free to do whatever they want, they are much more, you know, into it with their mind and with their heart. And that's personally what I think would benefit all mankind. If we would just abolish completely everything that forces you to do shit you don't want and instead encourages you to do whatever you want. And then we would all lead much more happy lives and everything would die. You didn't expect that, did you? Did you? Anyway, so yeah, this is my kind of thinking. Anyway, next question.
Overtoastify asks,
will the prototype of Unloved have multiplayer? Not the very first one, but you can expect it very, very soon afterwards. So this is basically my very second goal. I want to have the game multiplayer from the beginning, and the very first prototype will probably only be single player, but the very next thing I will add is multiplayer, because already I have multiplayer in the game, and I have already tested it with my friend, and we were able to play online. So there is a working system in the game already that gives you ability to play multiplayer online. But there have to be, I have to look into, for example, synchronizing everything. So when I shoot, then the other player sees that I'm shooting. Or when I kill an enemy, the other player already also sees that I've killed the enemy, and I'm kind of, goddamn, I'm lost again. So I have to check how I have the best way to how I can synchronize all that's going on inside the game for every player, and this is the second goal. So multiplayer, yeah, basically you could play multiplayer in the very first release, but whatever you do, the other player wouldn't be able to see it, so it's kind of useless. So, but yeah, of course, multiplayer is a very, very high priority on my list, and it will be the very second thing I will add to the game, so we can all play together. God damn, I'm lost. Why am I lost? Am I that stupid? Wait. Okay, let me see. Go down. Is this the way? Why is this? God, what? I thought the TNT maps were so easy that I can't get lost. And now look at me. No? Let me through. Huh? Wait. Do I have to go outside again? Like here? No? What? Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I feel really stupid right now. What? What? Wait, so... What? What was the point of this? Do I have to press that? Yeah. Wow. I hope I had to. God damn it. I'm so stupid. Oh, there we go. Why is it so backwards? Holy shit, this is really bad design in my opinion. Why is the switch on a completely different room and everything? Anyway. So, last question from... Ah! Die! Yikes! Awesome. So, last question. Will Unloved have limb damage? And if you shoot arms and legs off an enemy, will he crawl at you? And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. About the priorities that I have to set. At first, no, because it's very time consuming programming all the limb damage inside the game and programming all the things that happen to the enemy and all the different animations that I have to create to make the enemy look like he's crawling at you and everything. So, you know, I would have a ton of animations just for when one arm is off, when one arm and one leg is off, when one arm and two legs are off and everything. This is a bunch of animations that I would have to create for every enemy, because you don't want just one enemy to shoot limbs off, you want every enemy to be able to shoot limbs off. So at first, this is very, very time consuming and just too much for me to handle. So I have to say no, it's not in the prototype. But maybe later it's possible. Or just maybe one enemy, one specific enemy that you have to shoot limbs off, like in Dead Space, for example. Definitely, I can see that because it's fun. You know, everything that's fun is a possibility for my game. In Dead Space, I think it's very fun to shoot limbs off enemies and see like how they crawl at you. But at first, no, because it's just too time consuming, and if I would have started working on that, for example, I didn't have time to work on anything else for a long time, so... but definitely later. And also, I want the game to be very brutal and violent, and it will be something like... I want the game to be something that you look at and you think that, oh my god, my children will never play this game. This is what I want. You know, I want the game, look at this. This is awesome. All the blood and everything and gore and guts and stuff. And this is exactly what I want for my game too. So if the game succeeds over time and I am able to support myself financially through the game, and I have like the time and money to work on the game as much as I want, then yes, this is all that I want. This is like, this is amazing. And limb damage, yeah. Headshots, yes. Shoot arms and legs off, yes. All the yes. But, you know, sorry to say that, but it has to wait, because more things are important for the game to have good gameplay. And also, yeah, I know that visual satisfaction like this is an important aspect, and I will work on that as soon as I can. And yeah, we'll see about that. So yeah, the game will be brutal as shit, and stuff that creates your nightmares, but all at the appropriate time. So yeah, this is already 30 minutes. Holy shit, I'm rambling like shit in this video. But anyway, I hope you thought it was kind of interesting, and I thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.